Hello, thank you for watching. I'm Michael Bruner of Brogan Video, and this week I wanted to talk about something that we've all experienced but none of us like to talk about. Failure. The times, professionally, when you fail and it feels terrible. But we all experience it, and I think there's a great value in talking about it. So here's some examples of Brogan Video, how I have failed with it in the past, and the way it's turned out for the better. Thank you for watching. I've often said on this channel that one of the most instrumental things to my success has been networking. Joining networking groups, attending networking events, and putting the effort into it. But it's not always easy. My first networking event, when they asked me to introduce myself in 30 seconds, I remember what I said, and I'm not going to repeat it because it was so cringe-worthy bad. But you keep up with it, and a couple hundred times later, I got my introduction down. So, first time always really sucks, but you learn from it. I get a lot of people complimenting me on these videos, and honestly, bless your hearts, everyone who has done that. Thank you so much. But it wasn't always the case. This isn't the first time I tried to get my video vlog started. I believe I tried 3 times prior to this time, and all of them fell through for various reasons. And my very first video that I made for myself, I was nervous, I was awkward, I was doing this, it was awful, absolutely awful. I'm not going to share it here because I have enough respect for you, for your patience, but doing it the first time is usually going to be a failure, but you get through it. And thankfully, videos have gotten a lot better. Many of the things that I'm talking about don't really sound like failure. You do something the first time and you fall flat on your face, but you do it again. But there are some things that are outright failures. About 3 weeks ago, I dropped my camera from a nice height, hit me on the head, and then hit the concrete. That was absolutely a failure because I didn't lock it to the tripod properly. Now, that was a failure, and it was during a day when I had a shoot, and I needed the lens, and I broke the lens in half. But rolled with it. I have tape that I keep in my shooter's kit. I taped up the lens, and it worked just fine for what I needed it that day. When I looked at the footage turned out perfect. So sometimes you just got to roll with it. Failure. Nah. Sometimes failure can be enjoyable if it's just dramatic enough. Crashing my drone is usually one of those situations where everyone who's around sees it, everyone starts laughing about it, and if everyone sees me and if I'm laughing, they'll find it hilarious. So I have crashed my drone a number of times, never into a person and never causing any damage. The only damage was to my own equipment. But every time, it always helps just to look at the situation and laugh. Whether the drone is stuck way up in a tree and I have no idea how I'm going to get it down, having a good laugh always makes the failure of crashing so much better. So laughing a little bit always helps. 12 years ago, I shot a wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding. And everything had been planned by the bride down to the 15-minute mark throughout the day. There were so many activities planned. Nothing happened on schedule. Everything was getting shuffled around. People were having to rearrange what happened. There were things that they rented and planned but weren't able to do. But you know what? I was with that bride right before she got married, and she said, nothing's happening the way it should, but I'm told that's how it's supposed to be, so I'm not going to panic. And she didn't, and she enjoyed her day, and therefore everyone else there did. Good lesson. If you don't consider it a failure, who else is going to care? It was fun writing this video about failures because I realized many of the things that I considered to be failures professionally turned out to be quite successful and worked very well for the clients. So oftentimes failures are just the things that we do to beat ourselves up, and you need to drive yourself to be better, but many times failures is just the next step to getting your goal. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Michael Bruner of Brogan Video. This has been a little talk about failure.